Hey guys, Will here. There's been a lot of talk in the community recently about this subject. People are posing the question, will Warlords of Draenor spark a new golden age of World of Warcraft? Now, there are several ways to answer that question, but first, let's dive into what it's really asking. I think when someone talks about golden ages of WoW, they're referring mainly to the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King expansions. This was a time when the game was still growing rapidly. It felt fresh and new, and there was almost a surplus of content. In fact, it was very difficult to run out of things to do for the average player. This is opposed to Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria, where the game suffered a serious decline, and while Pandaria has had a lot of content, it fell short thematically. So when someone asks if Warlords will return us to those golden ages, I think they're asking a two-part question. One, will WoW ever reach or surpass its peak of 12 million subscribers again? And two, will the darker themes and storylines be well received when compared to Pandaria? First off, I think it's highly unlikely that WoW will ever reach 12 million subscribers again. As of the latest investor call, we're at 7.6 million, which is still a very respectable number, but it's fallen a lot in the past 3 years. There's a ton of reasons for people to leave the game, but I think the biggest reason that we won't see a huge resurgence is because there's a lack of new players coming in. Blizzard is trying to alleviate this issue with the Boost to 90 feature, but the fact is, the game is getting pretty old, and people are always on the lookout for the latest and greatest new toys. My guess is that we might end up with around 10 million subscribers at the start of Warlords, but even that is pretty optimistic. It depends on how many more are lost before the expansion is released. I'll make another video talking about release dates soon. As for the thematic part of the question, yes, I think the storyline of Warlords will be much better received. Pandaria had a great deal of lore-focused content that was actually presented very well. There was a ton of voice acting and little lore bits and pieces spread around the world, if you cared to look for them. I think the main issue was that the Asian-inspired landscape and plotlines were very out of place to your average WoW player. The Pandaren as a race are very well developed, but they just felt a little bit too comical for me. If you really delve into the lore of Pandaria and the Shah and things like that, sure, it's got some very dark undertones, but if you just look at the surface, it seems ridiculous, and that's why the knee-jerk reaction of everyone was, oh, Kung Fu Panda. This time, things were a little bit different, right? You know, facing off against some of the most evil characters in Warcraft, guys like Gul'dan and Ner'zhul, if that's handled with the same level of care and detail that Pandaria was, I'm extremely excited. I loved how well the world designers developed Pandaria, and hopefully the zones in Draenor will be just as fleshed out, if not more so. What do you guys think? Will Warlords of Draenor bring WoW back up to its peak? Are you excited to finally leave Pandaland? I'm interested in your thoughts. Anyway, that's all from me for now. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.